So on Instagram today, and I'm bringing this up because it's relevant to us in relationships and understanding how we can either reflect, project, and that's another reason we feel so insecure about the future. On my Instagram today, I put out this like reel about situationships, right? Where situationships a lot of the time are about one person not feeling confident enough to be able to ask for a relationship or what they want or deserve, and the other person in the relationship unconsciously using this person to be able to get their level of like validation connection while also doing XYZ. Now, it's truth be told, you cannot blame only one person in the situation because it takes two sides of the same coin, two hands to clap. So it's both the responsibility of both people involved in that situation. One not being confident enough to ask for what they want and therefore being okay with whatever's given to them. The other person realizing they can get away with it. But when I put that out, someone sent me a message. I put it in the comments and said like, oh, there's nothing wrong with these kind of relationships, and there's nothing wrong with polygamy and non-monogamous relationships. They can be really fulfilling. They can be really valuable. Short-term relationships can be really special. What's interesting is nowhere in my post did I criticize short-term relationships. Did I criticize non-monogamy? All I talked about was this particular situation. There's a reason I'm bringing this up to you. Why do you think that person reacted the way they did that? Can anybody tell me? Just thinking about it. When I didn't personally talk about non-monogamy, I didn't talk about short-term relationships, I didn't criticize any of his particular belief systems. Why do you think that person reacted the way he did? Projecting, Bianca said projecting, Anthony also said shadow work. I know a lot of you are thinking the same thing. All of you are absolutely on point. This is the magic of having sent you through the gauntlet so you can all go shadow work and you can all understand where our projections are a reflection of ourselves. But I want to share this all with you. Anytime we react to something, it's because we're sensitive about it. Talked about this in the trigger week in the gauntlet, right? And I told you that triggers can be a gift. Now, if in this case, when someone's not criticizing something, if you still take offense to it, it's because of your sensitivity to it, just as Cheryl said, quite possibly because of your past experiences. Now, I cannot speak for everyone who steps into a non-monogamous relationship or a polyamory situation, but I've evaluated a lot of people. And a lot of the people who are in those situations, and I want to share this with you so you understand if you're finding yourself in these kind of relationships, a lot of them are very afraid of the pain that could potentially come with them committing to something and then having heartbreak. In fact, many of them have probably committed to a relationship in some way. They may not have gotten their needs met. They may have had like someone basically really rip their heart out or break up with them. So they feel much safer to invest only on the surface, to basically put their like eggs in different baskets, so to speak, because it makes them feel more comfortable in investing in so many of these things. If one of them goes wrong, they can invest in something else and something else and something else. But the key aspect here is, if you can find in your own life where you're reacting to something, especially if it's about a particular relationship or someone's asking you for something, or someone's expressing that they have particular needs or they want the relationship to be a particular kind, you have to sit with yourself and ask yourself, why is it so sensitive to me? Why am I reacting to it? That was a beautiful inner work moment for that person if he chose to look into it and say, he didn't say anything about non-monogamy or any of these. Why am I reacting to it? Because just as even Anthony said, there's part of me that needs to defend non-monogamy because maybe I haven't had a safe monogamous relationship. Maybe I haven't had a good idea of commitment, maybe from my parents, from my family, from past relationships. So moving into this topic, let's talk about uncertainty in relationships, right? If that guy, for example, was to get into a relationship with a girl, who's investing his time with a girl or guy, whatever it was in his, choice base, and ultimately someone said, you know what, I can only go down this road if we commit to each other, or if we say that we're only going to be the only ones we want to sleep with or connect with, or any of that. And for him in that situation, that could have triggered a whole bunch of things. It would have created this massive uncertainty where he would either react in that situation and could say something aggressive. He could get straight into an avoidance phase where he just wanted to run away from, any sort of connection. Let's evaluate our own relationships. When are the moments that we feel this level of anxiety or uncertainty? When are these moments when we can preempt something or someone coming up with a conversation we're going to be really uncomfortable with? Something that either gets us to feel really anxious, to have a panic attack, to get us to feel triggered. It could be any of those situations. And the reason why we're doing it is because if we don't fully understand our past, it's difficult for us to be able to heal the wounds from our past. If we don't heal the wounds from our past, it's difficult to break that attachment that we have to those wounds in our past. If it's difficult for us to break the attachment to those wounds in our past, it's difficult for us to be open to a beautiful and bright future. So to be open to uncertainty, I would love to give you like a whole bunch of just tools and say, okay, guys, just stand in front of the mirror every day and say like, my future is important, my future is important, my future is important. But unless you actually disconnect from what's holding you back from that belief, you're going to keep manifesting that same thing.
Hey, and welcome to the Inner Yats YouTube page. If you like our content, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button so that you get more of these amazing videos that keep coming your way.